And remember, he's the star, not me.
We're gonna do interview now. Can you be quiet?
You don't have to be 100% quiet. Please feel free to bare breasts.
He's famous for that.
Okay, we're all going outside.
If you were in the 90s, you know this motherfucker, right?
I was in the 90s, but I don't know this motherfucker.
It's never too late.
Well, we'll talk later.
This is my friend here, Bill Zebub, from New York City.
Well, before we begin, let me just tell you that this is not a trap interview. So if I ask you a question you don't like, just say, "Hey, faggot, don't use this," and you look at the.
All right. Okay.
All right. So
Let's go.
Well, the first question I have is, I didn't know I was going to interview you, but now that we are here, go ahead, pass by.
Go, man. It's close interview.
Sorry, guys.
I just wanted to
The man. No. Just go. Just do it.
Could you tell the world why Krisiun has survived all these years?
He's right, because I think in our heart so much passion for metal, and that never dies, and it gets stronger every year. So I never figure myself not doing this. I live for metal. I born for this, and whatever happened, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm not looking to be famous or to success or whatever. I play metal because it's in my blood, and we never give up. And I think you're gonna keep doing this for the next years.
I did notice in the early days of Krisiun that in New York City, there were bands who came to see your show, and they wanted you to mess up because they couldn't believe that a three-piece can do what you do on stage, and after you played, they always bowed to you. How do you feel about that?
Man, I feel great. That means that they admire us, and to be in U.S., the land of thrash metal, death metal, and when they see us as a strong band, for me it flatters me a lot. It's a big pleasure. I love it. Thank you so much, all American bands that try to see us fucked up or whatever. We love you all. No problem about that. Yeah.
Before you had an American record deal, were you powerful in the Brazilian metal scene?
Not really, man. Brazil, they always respect us. They start respecting us when you start doing this overseas. We get a deal in Europe, so they start paying attention for us, because when we were there, nobody gave us attention because Brazil was so much busy giving praise for old Sepultura, which was on that time with Max and Roots or Chaos AD or whatever record, and so many other bands, and but we were a band that always have its own path. We run our own path there, and on the beginning it was really hard because nobody accept us in Brazil, nobody respect us in Brazil. But I think it started in U.S. with bands like Morbid Angel, Incantation, some other bands, Cannibal Corpse guys, whatever. They start talking about us, and so they were in Brazil, they were saying oh, okay, those guys are admired outside of Brazil, so you should give them some respect. But in the end, Brazil never really gave us what do we deserve, I guess. Yeah.
There have been interviews when you spoke about the sloppy playing of other guitar players, and could you talk about? When you play, you perform what you play on the record, which is crazy. But would you like to talk about the sloppy guitar playing of other people, or would you rather be polite about it?
I think nowadays we get the Pro Tools stuff going on. So many bands, they go on studio and they do a lot of copy-paste riffing, drumming stuff. And for me, in my opinion, a band have to sound better live instead on the record, always. So I always I want to make sure that we're gonna deliver the best we have on a live situation instead the studio. Studio is really easy to cheat on everything. You know, nowadays technology, Pro Tools, whatever, you can just, man, play like shit and sound really great. So the records nowadays, don't believe it, don't trust that. First see the bands live to see if they really can play that, you know. So I felt that. Like even like old bands, I learned that from Hendrix, from Deep Purple, Black Sabbath. When you see them live, they play always better live instead studio, you know. So I always want to sound better live, because live is present time life, you know, like we are living here and now, and we want to present them what you got in your guts, and not in the studio. Studio is really easy to fake.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We're just metal. Go,
Man,
pass by.
It's a tour buzz interview, so no big deal. Just,
Everybody knows what this is.
yeah.
Who's that guy?
Justin.
Well, getting back to all this, there were people who wanted to hate you in the New York City metal scene, but you always won. You had a victory over them at the end.
Thank you.
Because they could never believe that just guitar and just bass could do what they heard on the album. Would you like to talk about that to the television land?
And I love my haters. And I think you are the ones that improve us the best and make us really happen. Because without haters, who would be us? Nothing, you know. Like hate and love are the most connected emotion a human being have, you know. So once somebody hate you, it's because deep inside they love you. And if they want to see us fuck up, we can fuck up, man. We are not machines, you know. We're not saying we're the best, whatever. In a live situation, any shit can happen, you know. Human beings, sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad, you know. Like, but I try to do the best I can for the ones that attending the show, that come here, pay the tickets and whatever. So I will always try to do my best, even when I'm sick, when I'm bored, when I'm fucked up. I always try to do my best, man. So don't mistake about that. I always will try my best. Yeah.
You and I come from the time when metal really was metal, but now there are some pussies in metal. Would you like to talk about anything that has affected you from the younger fake metal pussies?
Man, we survive all trends, all fashions, since from the early 90s, you know. There was grunge, there was black metal, there was retro thrash, there was melodic death metal, whatever. We survived. We are making this happen, you know. So, and I know next year is going to be another trendy, another stuff, and we're going to be there, you know. And I believe that once you're loyal for your fans, they are loyal for yourself. So I'm sure whatever you play, don't matter if it's in US, South America, Asia, Australia, or whatever, I know some guys that are like us that believe in metal, they are going to be there, you know. So metal is like that, man. It takes a time sometimes to people respect you. And nowadays there's so many bands out there, so many labels, management, whatever, pushing it. Every week you get a new band or something going on. But in the end, what matters is if you're loyal for the people that likes you.
If there are people who do not know what Krisiun means, can you tell television land what that is?
The name of Krisiun?
Yes.
We took the name Krisiun from the Moon Atlas. You know that, right? From actually,
I know, but I don't want to. This interview is not about my
that
knowledge.
Actually, was from Jethro Tull record. They have the moon on the record, and they got all the name of the moon craters there. And there was one Mare Krisiun, and you say, man, sounds good, sounds different, because all the death metal bands are using like bloody, satanic, or whatever name. You say, man, let's get Krisiun name, you know. So we took from a Jethro Tull record, and up to be good. All right. It's a Japanese music.
It's a Japanese.
This is the best whiskey in the world, man. This is Japanese Scotch. Single malt.
I've never heard of it.
Ah.
Could you drink some of Bill Zebub?
No, that's not possible. In America, prejudice is against skin color, against ethnicity, but in Brazil, where you're from, is there also prejudice that maybe the world doesn't know?
There is, for sure. Brazil is a land, is like U.S. There's all types of culture. We got a lot of Germans down Brazil all after the Second War or whatever.
Oh, those are the Nazi people who wanted to...
Oh, yeah. Man, there's prejudice everywhere. Everywhere. Every square meter in the world, there's prejudice against... can be against you, can be against whatever, against Jews, against Polish, against Brazilians, against whatever people, you know, it's easy to find it. You go Europe, people many times are against Americans or whatever. It's you see everywhere it, but I don't care, man. I follow my way, you know. I don't give a fuck.
Well, the reason I ask that is, you know, white people only think that prejudice is skin color or very easy. But I talked to a Brazilian at a New York show. It wasn't a Krisiun show, but he said that Krisiun comes from the whitest city in Brazil, and a white person would never think about something like that. So what does that mean to a Brazilian?
Man, like I said, we just play, man. I don't concern so much about racism, politics. We are much more connected for spiritual, cosmic stuff. We are gonna die. I don't give a fuck if you're white, if you're black or whatever, you know, like I say, you can find prejudice everywhere, you know, like whatever douchebag say, oh, I'm white, I'm good, or I'm whatever, you know, but that don't connect to me, you know. I'm connected for the great, the earth itself, cosmic shit, you know.
But inside Brazil,
the place, like, we do the best. We sell a lot of records in Germany. The best. We went for charts in Germany. We on some billboard in U.S., you know, where people have a lot of racism or whatever. And we, as Latinos, we do so well, you know. So I don't care about that. You know, that's something that don't affect me, you know, like whatever. If you have a problem with myself, my skin color, come and tell me. But nobody ever came and tell me anything, you know. I think they're afraid. So if you think you're superior, you come and tell me something, and I'm gonna tell you something back, you know. So that for me is really something that don't exist. It's just something on the news, it's media. Fake news is everywhere, man. They feeds you up. They change your mind, and you think that you're okay. People are against white people. White people are against these blacks or whatever, man. But in the end, your personal life, we are miserable. So we are gonna die. It's not. It's like. I know in U.S. there's much more racism than anywhere in the world, even more than in Germany, anywhere else.
They pretend that it's not, but it is.
You see a lot of people that descend from Jewish, Polish people that the fucking Germans were killing down there. They are here, they pretend to be Nazi or whatever. Man, people just have a big misconception about everything. You know, like it's nothing. It's a human failure about the personality they have. You know, like they don't grow up as a person, as a human. You know, so they always need to throw a stone on everyone. You know, it is not only racial; it can be on something else about what you like or not. You can hate anyone. Hate is because you hate yourself. When you hate yourself, you hate the others. You know, when you like yourself, you don't need to do that. So I always say, this is your hatred is inside yourself. You hate yourself. You don't hate me. You know.
Well, the reason I brought that up is it's leading to something else. Like I know a long time ago, Krisiun was punished by Texans. You were banished from some Texas city.
But there was Latinos, Christians, against us and Angel Corps. Most of the people that were there were like these Spanish people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that preach for Christ and stuff. We never had problem with whites in U.S. Never, ever.
But I never thought that Krisiun was something that was very satanic or very extreme in any belief. Could you tell Television Land maybe what that really was? What is Krisiun?
Because because we get a pentagram. I think we were one of the first bands that get a bloody pentagram on a poster. It was Krisiun and Angel Corpse in '99 in Corpus Christi, Texas. People is really against that, and they saw that bloody pentagram, and the poster were saying like apocalypse start at 10 o'clock or something like that. So for them, that was like a big affront or something, like they didn't like it. They went down there with cops and shit. They shut the show. They shut down. That's what happened, for real. And we got one time we got a show in Poland. They shut down the place. Was us, Vader, someone else. We got arrested in Bangladesh because of Muslims. We got a show in Brazil one time canceled because of church or whatever. So it's everywhere. It's not only here. Come on, wake up, man. It's everywhere. Like prejudice is everywhere. Like I say, like somebody, maybe even your neighborhood where you live, they see you say, fuck, man, who the fuck you are? Look this hair, look this guy, like whatever. It's easy.
I know.
It's easy to hate somebody. It's hard to be kind, so that's why you see. But the world is changing nowadays, especially in the US. I see a big change nowadays, So for me, it's like always concerned about my own path. I don't care about what people think. If you care about people think, you're never gonna be yourself.
I'm glad that you said that. How has Krisiun changed from the early days? Because Black Force Domain was mind-blowing when I first heard it, and many years have passed since that album. What is different about Krisiun between Black Force Domain and now?
We got signed to Century Media Records, which is a big label, and we are still on that label after 20 years. And they sold the record company for Sony, which is a major company, and we just renew our deal with Century Media for the next 10 years.
10
years. That means they like us and we like them. They never gave up on us. They want to do more and more. Our last record is relentless death metal, organic. It's not digital, and we reach the German charts, the Switzerland charts. We reach the Billboard in the US, whatever, doing this type of music without any commercial attempt or whatever. And we are doing this, and we're gonna keep doing this. Some people out there support us, and so that's I see this like don't matter who you are, what you do, loyal people always gonna be loyal to you because we are loyal for them.
Did you ever regret this path in life?
Never, ever. Every second of this life for me is amazing. I do this. Man, I'm so fortunate to travel around the world and see and meet people everywhere and get new friends in US, in Asia, in Philippines, in Singapore, in Japan, in Australia, everywhere. And we all connected, all connected by metal, and so this is a strong feel that you go home and you feel, man, this is fucking amazing. I'm so happy, grateful for this in my life, so every second of this is great for me. But in the end, I always go back to my house in Brazil. I never changed. I never moved to somewhere other country, But I really admire people that support us, and you support them, support other bands, and you support other bands or whatever. So it's something magical, I'm fucking happy.
If I may ask something that might sound silly, but when you hear someone from Portugal speak Portuguese, does that person sound a little gay?
Sounds really weird for me. It's like the British English for you, American English, or the French from Canada, France. It sounds always different, and sounds really polite, really old for me. But I love Portugal, man. Portugal is great. Yeah.
Have you played there?
Every year.
And so, how are you? What is the reaction to a Brazilian band playing Portugal? And when Portuguese hear your Brazilian Portuguese,
they love it. Like all Brazilian bands like Sepultura, Ratos de Porão, or whatever, RDP, In Portugal, they're fucking huge. When you play in Portugal, they love us there. It's fucking amazing. And we play there like it's like playing home. And they even dig it more because they feel like Brazil is their biggest pride for Portugal.
If I may, you can tell me to shut up if I ask you this question, but you've toured with many bands of many styles,
Yeah.
and some of them were kind of faggy, right?
Sure.
Well, let me ask you something about Brazil versus America. In America, I don't know if you understand that now there's censorship and you cannot really say your true opinion about things. Like metal from the past is now evil. Like if you say your mind, they don't understand that there was no hatred, it was just truth. There's no hatred in truth. But is Brazil being like America where you get punished for saying certain jokes or
Actually, right now, our president in Brazil is a right-wing president.
right wing?
Yeah, in Brazil. Yeah. And they already killed like 8,000 black people in Brazil from 2-3 years from then to now. You know,
I had no idea.
Yeah, you don't know that, but he's really connected to Donald Trump and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, really racist, really all this homophobic, whatever type of problem, you know. And in Brazil right now we are facing a lot of censorship with bands and stuff. They're canceling some shows there.
Really?
Yeah, it's happening there. Yeah, bad.
Well, could you tell Television Land the biggest difference between Black Force Domain and your new album?
Actually, the new album, we really get back for the Black Force Domain shit.
Really?
Yeah. More relentless, more straightforward, more organic. We try to avoid all type of editions or whatever. For some new kids, they were saying, "Oh, you guys, it's kind of weird," but man, it's all analog. You know, we try to sound really not compressed, not compression, no nothing, like really pure sound. You know, like playing on a live situation. And
So if I had a wave file of your band, would it have peaks and valleys, or would it all be one big rectangle?
man, we'll be like this, ups and down. Will not be a break, all compressed.
So how do you feel about the compressed quality of albums on MP3?
When I
especially?
hear the new records, when the first time I hear it, I can say, oh, it sounds good, it's okay. But after listening 2-3 times, I get tired because it's too compressed, too digital for me. Then I get back for the old records. I like Peace of Mind or Iron Maiden or Rainy Blood or whatever, which are not compressed records. Like there's no compression at all. So you listen more like the vibe, the dynamics. And some bands nowadays is like a brick. It's all compressed, you know, like drum, like bass drum, guitars. It's too compressed, and then that don't fit on me. You know, I like raw stuff. I like Hendrix, man. I like Black Sabbath. I like deepness in the music. You know, I don't like the over-the-top stuff all the time. You know, but it's my shit. You know?
If someone heard Krisiun and you're guitar playing and you're soloing especially, you're a dexterity player.
Some here and there, but not really, man. No. I'm on rock and roll. I'm blues, man. I'm pentatonic guy.
Really, every solo is pentatonic?
No. I go for some harmonic minor, some diminished, but most what I do is pentatonic. Yeah.